This is the reality of being a full-time trader of 8 years in 60 seconds or less. Let's go. So first off, it is not about the Lamborghinis and the penthouses like you see on social media. Social media ruins your perception of trading. The reality of trading is you want to chase freedom. That is time freedom, so you have more time to do with your life whatever you want, as well as freedom to travel, go anywhere in the world, always have a job, and not to have to deal with a boss, sit in traffic, and go to a job you hate that underpays you and overworks you. Next, trading gets easier, but you never get perfect at it. Trading, you'll never have a 100% win rate. You'll still make mistakes. Just the more experience you have, the less mistakes you'll make. Last but not least, you never fully figure it out. You always have to continue learning, growing, and changing with the market.
So, one common misconception that we see on social media all the time is you see a lot of these trading gurus, they lure you in with their luxury cars, which, listen, understandably so, right? You want that lifestyle. You want to be rich, right? You want to show that you are rich, and they lure you in, and you believe that they are making their money or they have their possessions simply because they're such a good trader. And I'm here to tell you 99% of these traders are faking. Or 99% of these traders, if they actually do own these things, they actually don't own them from trading solely or not from trading at all, right? A lot of them are just simply from selling courses. A lot of them are simply from other means of income. But in a way, it's to lure you and have you believe that you too can make this simply from trading when they themselves don't necessarily have these possessions simply from trading. This is the thing with trading. This is what I want you to think about. What do you want out of trading? Right? Like, we know money, right? Like, it's obvious. We obviously doing this for money. But what exactly do you want to unlock here? Do you want to just have Lambos to flex? Do you want to just like understand what your reason is? And it doesn't actually really matter what your reason is. But what I'm trying to say is that particular thing is what's going to drive you. That's why I want you to actually know your reason beyond money, right? What it is that you want to do with the money. What is it that you actually want to change? What is it that you actually want to do? Figure that part out. That part is important because when you figure that part out, you start to formulate a why. And that why is what drives you in the roughest moments of the trading journey. That why is what's going to get you through your worst losing streaks. That why is what's going to get you up after 99 failed attempts. That why is what's going to carry you through even after your 100th blown account. That why is very, very important. Now, although I agree with the first part of what he's saying, now when we get into the idea of being a full-time day trader, it's a lot more complicated than people lead on. Here's the reality of trading. Trading is not necessarily, for the most part, predictable, right? Even when you're a good trader. You could be a good trader, but it's just not predictable what your salary is going to be on average, etc. So that being said, what you usually see is you can have periods and stretches of time where you make tons of money, periods and stretches of time where you make little money, periods and stretches of time where you don't make money or you're losing money. That's the true nature of trading because the market tends to change time and time again. So with that, it becomes very, very difficult for you to simply rely on trading income alone unless you are using that income in a way to serve you. So in my opinion, I think people try to quit their jobs far too early when it comes to trading. For every one success story, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of failed stories. And I think you need to stay in your job a little longer. There's nothing wrong with staying in your job, stacking up and still being a profitable trader, stacking up and making moves and allowing some residual income to come in. For instance, if you're going to buy a rental property, for instance, if you're going to invest in something that's going to give you passive income and rely more so on the passive income than your trading skills. That way you can navigate even when the market is not good, even when you're going through a little losing streak. There's no need for panic because what happens is when you solely rely on your trading income alone to survive, whenever you go through a rough patch, it could be a very dangerous time, not only for yourself financially, but mentally as well. You're thinking of man, how am I going to make my next couple payments for rent, for bills, etc.? Because I'm going through a rough patch right now. I'm not making the money I'm supposed to make to sustain myself. So with trading, a lot of nuances matter to becoming a full-time day trader. You have to have money away. And in addition to that, you should have some other means of income that could support you when trading is not necessarily going so well. I would definitely advocate for staying in your job much longer and stacking up so that you can actually make those financial moves and put yourself in a much more comfortable position. And then perhaps you can leave your job. But don't be such in a rush. Even when trading brings in more than your job, listen, just double up and just put that money away and put it to good use.